Hello, I'm Ellen Horan, President and CEO of the Greater Reading Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and I'm here for this week's Member Spotlight with Debbie and Joe Bakanowski from DeLux Dental. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, for the month of February, we're having couples that are in business together, because we want to know, how are you making that work? So, but anyway, let's learn a little bit about DeLux Dental Laboratories first. Joe, you are a co-owner.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what DeLux Dental Laboratories does?
Sure. DeLux Dental Laboratory fabricates prosthetic appliances for dentists through a prescription for their patients, and ways to improve their quality of life, the way they look and the way they feel.
Good. Well, you brought some samples with. Do you want to, people might not understand what that meant. I thought it was a good soundbite, having been through your facility, but why don't you do a little show and tell here?
Sure. If, say, for example, someone goes to the dentist and they need to get replacement teeth, so they would present something like this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're missing teeth here. We can see that. So what we'll do is that we will fabricate something that fits into this, such as this, so that you can have the replacement and you wouldn't be able to see that they're missing teeth. And this would be a removable appliance. And we make other types of appliances, for example, ceramic restorations. If someone wanted to get a crown or a veneer or something like that, the dentist would prepare the tooth, and then we'd make parts that fit over those crowns and things like that, either out of zirconia, lithium disilicate, or something that would, match the patient's teeth and meet their needs.
So I assume everything is custom made then?
Yes, it is custom made. Everything is hands-on.
Are even dentures custom made?
Yes.
I guess they would be, because everyone's gums are shaped differently.
That's exactly right.
Very good. Now, you have a co-owner in the business in Doug Held, is that correct?
It's my partner, Doug.
And Debbie, you are IT and Special Projects. Now, have you been in the business since the beginning?
Oh, no, I kind of got roped in, I guess, halfway through. I was able to take some time off from my job, and when I went to go back for the job, obviously it wasn't there, so I was actually just helping Joe as we raised our children from home. So just one thing led to another, and it snowballed, and here we are.
Here you are.
Get to see each other every day.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, it worked out great.
Yeah. So that's nice of you to say that, Joe.
Well, and it's true, too.
That bodes well.
Yes.
Joe, why don't you tell us about how did you get involved with DeLux Dental? Were you in the dentistry industry, or?
No, a friend of mine actually got me involved. He, recommended that we check out a place he was working. He was working in a lab, and he's there. They're looking for somebody, and I think you might like this type of work. So I went up and, interviewed, and they said, "Yeah, okay, you're on." And so I was up there for some time, and then that opportunity ended. So I came down to DeLux, which is where I am now, and I wanted to work there because I had visited that place, and the current owners, who was Doug's dad, and also a fellow by the name of Gus Mavridis, took me on a tour of the place. I was very impressed with how it looked, and so I wanted to say, well, maybe they looking for somebody. So I came down, put an interview in, and the timing was right, and next thing you know, one thing led to the next, and Doug and I are partners now for 29
Wonderful.
years.
Yeah, and you've done an expansion. You're in downtown Reading, and a beautiful facility, by the way.
Thank you.
Very nicely done.
Yes, and that was part of it. We looked for the opportunities, and it really worked out well for us in Reading, actually.
Yeah.
That's my title, Special Projects, because that was a special project.
Right.
Yes,
It really was.
She really helped out
Getting that
a great
facility
deal
up
with
and
that.
running.
It was nice to just keep the look of Reading. We wanted to keep the look of that building. It was an older building, and we really wanted to keep that look. So when people walk in there, they can really feel, the fireplace is going.
Yeah.
And we try
It's
to
on
keep that.
multi-levels and very nice brick building. And room for expansion. I remember when we did the little tour, you showed that you had space, so you're kind of committed to downtown Reading. So thank you for that.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Very good. Now, how do you balance work and home? Given that you're working together, you're full-time there now and have been for a while, how do you balance not bringing that home with you? Or do you bring it home with you?
Well, it's you know, sometimes it can be a question of balance. Quite often it's something that, you know, you do together, and it's kind of fun. You get to plan things, you get to, you know, come up with ideas, and, you know, just see how would this work, how would that work. And so, you know, it isn't always that way, but, you know, quite often it's, you know, it's a common interest. It's like a game, you know. It's something fun.
And you really don't have to bottle work up. You know, sometimes if we were in different businesses, you'd come home and especially I remember being in different business, I thought to myself I would just rattle on about the day. Now he can really relate to the day, and it's a great partnership then, because if I had a bad day, Joe lifts me up. If it's a good day, he celebrates with me. So it's a good balance.
Now, how do you do, Deb, with having kind of the catch-all position there with special projects? Is that a challenge?
Well, yeah, it changes every day, so it's a fun thing, and it works, and it frees Joe up to look at technologies, and it's a fast-moving business, and you know, we're into CAD camming, and you know, a whole lot of other things that we had to bring a lot of technology on board. So between the two of us.
And Deb had a strong background in computers, and, you know, she taught, and so she had a very strong technical background, which is, you know, kind of where a lot of things are going. And so it was very beneficial for us, not only on the special projects, but a lot of the special projects, you know, were technically involved. So we had a little bit of extra help there.
Good. Well, I know you've kept up with your technology. You've grown. You have, what, over 30 employees now?
Yep, like 37, 38, somewhere in there.
Wow, which is wonderful. What do you think your future looks like?
It's a great future. You know, it's exciting. Like I said, I'm learning things all the time. Like it's not stagnant at all. And you know, there are some that you know, it's a very competitive. It's a world market. You know, we're in a world market, and so it makes it interesting. You look at the things that are coming down the pike. You figure out what's going to work, what's not going to work. What do you want to invest in? Who do you want to invest in? And you know, that goes across the board. So it's very exciting and dynamic.
Good. Do you have any tips for other chamber members that are in family businesses? What makes it work for the two of you?
It should be fun.
Yeah.
It should, really.
It's so easy. That's a hard question.
You know,
because
it should be fun, and you know, that's the whole thing. And it should be fun.
Good. Well, thank you for being a chamber member, and we wish you luck for your continued growth, and thank you also for being in downtown Reading.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah,
Great.
It's fun.
And we appreciate the support of the chamber. They were very involved with that, you know, moving to that building as well.
Good.
So thank you.
Very
Thank
good.
you.